out there. Those of you guys that are out there from the Michigan area, you know, this has definitely been a report that has been pretty interesting for those guys from the Michigan area. I am going to, I know I'm just having some slight technology, not necessarily issues, but a couple of challenges, just trying to make sure you've got it to the point to where um, all screen shares are going to be good. Testing, testing, one, two, three, four, testing, testing, one, two, three. Looks like all the it looks like what sounds like the audio is working pretty good here. So just want to make sure I got my screen share up. Got people in all different social media areas that we are trying to make sure is good. Make sure everybody's good. See, and we're going to share this screen. No, that's not the screen I want to share. Let's stop sharing that screen. Let's see. We're going to be locked in probably about an hour, 15 minutes, guys. So, you know, don't think I'm going to take up your whole evening. It's totally not the case. Definitely is not the case. Just trying to make sure I've got everything lined up so that once you get tapped in here, and once I get tapped in, that everybody will be able to see the screen again. Uh, those that would like to and have not received the link for the webinar, you can go to, well, those on YouTube, you should have the link. Those on Facebook, the link is in the team group. And those that are on Instagram, if you go to the link where, if you go to the last video that I uploaded, there is a comment learn video in there, and you can go to that link and we'll go to that video and hit type learn, and you will be able to get the link to the webinar as well. Again, it's not mandatory to be on to get it. This is going to be some good information, period. Um, but for those who want to participate, see the actual video, see the actual webinar as we go through. Uh, this is where we will be over here in the it's an actual Zoom link is what you will be receiving. You'll be receiving a Zoom link, and with the Zoom link, you will be given the chance to visualize the webinar. So I think it's going to be a pretty good webinar here, guys. We're going to be talking Power BI, all things kind of sort of Power BI. If you have any questions, we're going to have a question and answering session available as well. Let's see, just giving a couple more people a chance to chime in or to get logged in. I did get a couple of what's this? I got a couple of let's see, let's cancel that. I had a couple of guys that said that they wanted to participate or not necessarily participate, but wanted to, well, yeah, participate, wanted to get chimed in, get logged in. So I want to make sure that we are doing that as well. Looks like we've got some individuals that have jumped in. Frank ARE99, welcome to the Instagram. Eno underscore wise tapped in. My pets to share. Looks like tapped into Instagram as well. Uh, welcome in, guys. Uh, Mina McClinton has tapped in on YouTube. I just love BI. Just tapped in on YouTube. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. We are not going to spend all day here. I just wanted to create this presentation, create this webinar for those of you guys that want to learn more about Power BI. Of course, if you're here right now, you've probably heard some rumblings of Power BI, and basically, I'm just here to share some information. I'm not here to sell you anything. Do I have something to sell you? Yes, I have something to sell, but this is not a sales presentation. This is strictly a webinar on what Power BI is, what Power BI does, and who Power BI can benefit. And if you so find that this could benefit you and your career objectives, here I will actually give you an opportunity at the end to make that known. I will let you know when I am going into not necessarily sales mode, but giving you an opportunity to join Power of the BI. But trust, I am not a salesperson. It's not who I am. It's not what I do. And it's just not what I am good at. What I am good at is Power BI, and that's what I am here for today. So right before we get started here, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. I'm a little low here. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to go ahead on and get busy, guys. We're going to go ahead and go live here on what? Power of the BI. Welcome back to another episode. Welcome back to a webinar in Power BI brought to you by Power of the BI. So here's the deal, baby. Here's the deal. My name is Tearod Robertson. I am a 7X Microsoft certified uh, data person. Now, for those of you guys out there that are not familiar with Microsoft, and you're not necessarily understanding what I mean by 7X, I have 7 different certifications, at least 7 that I can think of. Power BI being one of the certifications that I am certified in. Data engineering, data associate, data analyst, artificial intelligence associate, whole number of fabric engineers, a whole number of Power BI, a whole number of Microsoft certifications. However, what I do like to tell those that I work with, those that I teach, my mentors, my mentees, and students in general, is that just because you have a certification does not mean, let me turn this down just a little bit, does not mean that you are an expert in Power BI or in whatever field, well, at whatever, I'm not going to say whatever field because I can only speak of data and tech. But when it comes to Power BI, if you are not, if you are certified in Power BI, that does not mean that you are a Power BI pro. That does not mean anything. Matter of fact, this is what it means to me. There are 4 things that it can mean. Having the certification in Power BI having a certification in Power BI can mean 4 things. One of 4 things. One, you study for the test and you pass. 2, someone gave you the answers to the test. That's right. I said you cheated. Someone gave you the answers to the test and you passed. You study for the test and you pass. Somebody gave you the answers to the test and you pass. Number three, you are an extremely good guesser. You're an extremely good guesser. You guessed your way through the test and you pass. And number four, there was a four. You can study for the test, you can cheat for the test, or someone can give you, or you can you study for the test, you cheat for the test, you study for the test, someone cheated, you cheated and someone gave you the answers for the test, or you are an extremely good guesser. So it's not four, it's three. It may be four, but I can only think of three right now. But bottom line is just because you are certified in Power BI does not mean that you are a Power BI pro. Does not mean that you're a Power BI pro. It's icing on the cake. It's icing on the cake. I'm not going to beat that dead horse too much more. It is icing on the cake. But you have to have Power BI experience. You have to be you've got to have the knowledge and you've got to have the experience in working with Power BI in order to really to really become good at what we do here in data and in tech when it comes to Power BI. So again, 7 times certified. It's icing on the cake. It's I'm not gonna say bragging rights, but it's something that I can brag about just a little bit. But I'm not going to go too much deeper than that. What I do want to make sure that everyone understands is I do not work for Microsoft. I have contracted before on projects and with consulting companies on projects for Microsoft, and I've done some work for Microsoft as a consultant via other companies. However, I do not work for Microsoft. Power BI is a Microsoft product, just as is Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, publisher, things like that. But I'm just trying to make it clear that I do not work for Microsoft. I am not pushing Microsoft Power BI or Microsoft Fabric as a sales pitch because that's not who I am. It's not what I do, and I don't get paid to do that for Microsoft. I am a data analyst, a data engineer, a data scientist, whatever you want to call me. That's what I am in regards to tech. I've been called worse things, but that's okay. But when it comes to tech, one of those is what I work well with. Now, with that said, um, I'm not sure that I own any Microsoft stock. I'm not sure that I don't own any Microsoft stock, right? I do own stock. I do own some tech stock, but again, just trying to put it out there. I'm not sure if I own Microsoft stock. I could, but that is what it is. Just please understand that these are all my thoughts. And these are all. This presentation is totally a power of the BI presentation. I own a company. I started a company called powerofthebi.com where I do online I have an online course to teach Power BI. With that said, again, this is not anything affiliated with Microsoft, with the exception of the product of my choice that I choose to work with, that I choose to teach, is Power BI, which again is a Microsoft product. Dun, 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 dun. I think that covers me. I think that covers me when it comes to I guess being transparent as possible um, when it comes to the product. Now, Mr. Microsoft, if you're out there and you want to endorse Power of the BI Trust, I am willing to have that conversation. So I don't want anybody to say, oh, anybody to think like, oh, he say he's not going to take any money from Microsoft. If Microsoft comes knocking on my door and they say they want to sponsor Power of the BI when it comes to these webinars and my classes and stuff like that, I am open to the conversation. Now, all that is out there is on tape. You can play that back. Anyway, let's move right along. Let's move right along. So, again, my name is Tearod Robertson. I am certified in I have several Microsoft certifications. The primary one that is the most concerning for this particular class, this particular course, this particular webinar is the Power BI certification. I want to say that it even turned into maybe even a data analyst certification as of this year, maybe, or last year. I don't know, but I am certified in Power BI with with Microsoft. And I teach a course called Power of the BI. You can go out, shameless plug. You can find it at powerofthebi.com. It's a 16-week course where I teach Power BI. As you can see here, I also have a book called The Six-Figure Cheat Code. And the reason why I call it the Six-Figure Cheat Code is Many of my students starting out, even myself, when I first got into tech, because I didn't get an undergraduate degree in tech. I do have an undergraduate degree. It's not in tech. I tell people all the time, you do not have to have an undergraduate degree to make six figures because you can make six figures doing a lot of things, and you can make six figures in tech. You know, if you're good at what you do. And even if you have a degree in tech and you can't perform the, or you're not, I don't like using the word can't, but if you're not able to perform the work, you still won't make six figures, okay? But with that said, um, I do encourage my students at the completion of the course to go out and get those six figure jobs. And many times they say, I'm really kind of afraid. I don't feel qualified. I didn't go to school for this. Blase, blase, whoop-de-whoop. I've heard it all. And what I do is I start playing the violin and I say, hey, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. So if that's the case, go continue to do what you've been doing. Otherwise, take what you have learned over these last 16 weeks, over the last 20 weeks, however long it's taking you to complete this course, go and take what you've learned and better the world for us, right? um, I am 100% confident in what I do and what I teach and how I teach. The way that I teach is how I learn. um, let me let me back up just a little bit. When I learned Power BI, there were no courses that were Power BI courses, right? You couldn't just go find something and say, hey, teach me Power BI. I mean, there were some things that were out there on a couple of the platforms that you could pay and you could buy the teachings. You could buy the a session for 19 or 20 bucks or $100. Watch the videos and they tell you, what to do and you do step by step. And I'm not gonna lie, I did purchase one or two of those, and that's kind of how I got introduced to really learning. But at the end of the day, the methods that I use to learn Power BI, the things that I use to learn Power BI, um, I took that and I built my course off of that, right? So, you know, I feel confident in what I'm teaching because what I'm teaching is how I learn. So if you take my test, I'm giving you the test. Take my test and copy off of it. Take my test and copy off of it. Do what I did, and I can know where you should be. If you take half of my test and if you take my test, you copy half of it, and then you try to figure out the other answers on your own. I can't tell you where you should be, but I do know that if you do what I ask you to do for 16 weeks, over my 16-week course, you would be able to get that six-figure job within, 16 weeks to however long it takes you to get a job. Okay. With that said, again, I'm not here to push the course right now. I am going to let you know that at the end, I'll give you an opportunity to join the course. But right now, that's not what this is about. I'm just trying to let you know how confident I am in what I do and how I present. But what I did do is I created a book. It's called The Six Figure Cheat Code. It's out there on Amazon. If you get an opportunity, go out there and pick it up. It's called The Six Figure Cheat Code. It's out there on Amazon. It's called The Six Figure Cheat Code: How to Make Money in Tech. I'm not sure if there's a couple of six figure cheat codes out there, but my title is The Six Figure Cheat Code: How to Make Money in Tech. And basically, for those of you guys that take the course or any other tech course, right? You take any other tech course and you say, hey, I don't feel that I really know what to do because this is not what I went to school for. I outline it, what it takes and what it takes to get over the imposter syndrome in the six figure cheat code. Then I give you additional information as to how to be successful in tech. Given that for some of you guys, this could be the first time that you have hit that six figure threshold, and you're like, what, how do I know what to do next? Hey, it's not complicated to me. And what I do understand is it may not be complicated to me because a lot of these things I've already done, I've already seen. But if you haven't seen it, you may need a blueprint and a six figure cheat code, how to make money in tech. is that blueprint. So even if you don't take my course, you take someone else's course, because there are plenty of courses that are out there that allow you to make six figures in tech. I mean, there are jobs out there in QA, there are jobs out there in testing and development, Azure DevOps. Man, there are a lot of opportunities out there in tech. I chose to niche down. I chose to niche down and I zoomed in on Power BI. Okay. I zoomed in on Power BI. Now, the reason why I zoomed in on Power BI is because there's so many things that are out there in tech that you can that you can get into, that you can make six figures from. But for me, my thing was I'm gonna find one thing, I'm gonna do one thing. That one thing is gonna be Power BI. I'm gonna become good at it. I'm gonna become the best at it. I like to consider myself as one of the best in the world when it comes to building out Power BI reports. Um, you can have your opinion about that when you see some of our work. But outside that, I don't really care what your opinion is. I know that I'm pretty good at what I do. Matter of fact, matter of fact, I'm pretty doggone good at what I do. Right. And I'll put a what on that, I'll put a stamp on that. And with my students, I like to encourage my students to become doggone good at what they do. Okay. But I'm not gonna beat that down anymore. But if you guys can go over to Amazon and pick up my book, Six Figure Cheat Code: How to Make Money in Tech. I think it's less than $20. Less than $20, and it's got $50,000 worth of value. Guaranteed, it's got $50,000 worth of value for less than $20. So gonna keep going. Why Power BI? Data visualization, game changer. I used to, I ain't say I used to. Some of my students call me the six figure game changer, right? They call me the six figure game changer because they've gone from where they were. In some cases, they may have been sacking groceries at Walmart, and in some cases, they may have been accountants and finance professionals at Fortune 500 organizations. Uh, Nevertheless, they neither were in position to make six figures within a short period of time. And once completed my course within a period of time, I have guys that I have guys and ladies, or ladies, yeah, guys and ladies that have left uh, stocking and sacking groceries at Walmart, cashiering at different retail places, and working in corporate America with current, degreed professions, but not necessarily in position to get set up to make six figures within a short period of time. Both sets of individuals have now joined the ranks of making over six figures when it comes to Power BI and their new careers, the way they've pivoted. So why Power BI? Here's the deal. I mean, I don't know why you're here. Maybe you just want to learn Power BI. Maybe you're just interested in tech. Maybe you're another Power BI pro and you want to see, how Tearod does his thing when it comes to Power BI. Well, at the end of the day, here's the deal. Why Power BI for me? Why did I choose Power BI? Was because I could make a lot of money. I saw the opportunity that if I learned a skill, I could make a lot of money. I could make six figures. I didn't want to be an auto mechanic. Nothing against auto mechanics. I know auto mechanics make a lot of money. I didn't want to be an auto mechanic, right? I said, what can I do? What can I do to make six figures? And I researched and I researched. I had a buddy that turned me on to a course that was a tech course, not necessarily a Power BI course, but turned me on to a tech course. I took the tech course. I doubled down, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna try this tech. I'm gonna try to get this tech thing a real run for his money." And voila, it worked out for me. It worked out for me. Um, so, with that said, for me, why Power BI? It was the money, right? Now, once I really got into it, I really enjoy what I do. I like making dashboards. I like making reports. I like taking data and turning data into a non-life breathing um, mechanism, right? I really enjoy creating Power BI reports, right? I take them and I make it feel like it's a website, and I take it and it feels like computer programming, and it feels like bringing all of the business knowledge that I have from an MBA perspective all into one bucket and saying, boom, look at what I can create, look at what I can do. So, with that said, initially it was the money, and what kept me interested is that I really enjoy doing what I do. And what I try to instill in my students and into my mentees is that in order for you to be successful at this thing, one, you got to be good at what you do. And if you're good at it, you're gonna enjoy it. And if you can enjoy it, you will be able to really produce great results. I'm gonna say 98% of the time. Nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. I create reports sometimes. I'm like, man, what is this? And then I get back into that report and I have to like jazz it up some more, right? And I got to dig into the data, really see, what can I do with this data that the person that asked me about it or asked me to create a report for them, I try to create just a little bit more to it so that they'd be like, oh, I didn't expect that. So that's what I try to instill into my mentees and instill into my students. And these are different. I've got mentees and I've got students. I've got students. I got mentees. Um, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not going to get too deep into that because that could go longer than what I really wanted to go. But for me, why Power BI? I chose Power BI for the money. I stayed in it because I enjoy it. Right. Again, for those that have logged in, well, tell me this: if you are a professional right now, I ain't say professional, but if your company right now is using Power BI, type one in the chat. Type one in the chat if your company is using Power BI right now. That goes for everyone. If you're out there on Instagram, type one in the chat if anyone is using Power BI. If you're out there on YouTube, type one in the comment. Type one. Let me know if your company is already using Power BI. Type one if your company is already using Power BI. LinkedIn, type one. Type one. Put one in the comments. Put one in the comments if your company right now is using Power BI. If your company is using Power BI. Type two, if your company is not using Power BI, but you know what Power BI is, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. If your company is not using Power BI, but you do know what Power BI is and what Power BI can do for your organization, type two in the chat. Type two in the chat, two in the chat, two in the comments, right? That lets me know, who I'm talking to. That lets me know who I'm talking to. But anyway, so let's keep moving. Dun, 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 dun. The faces of Power BI, the faces of Power BI. Power BI is extremely diverse. Power BI is extremely diverse. It does not matter if you are in a majority company, a minority company, a Fortune 500 company, a mom and pop shop. It does not matter. Power BI is beneficial to just about every company. Again, I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm going to say 98. I'm not going to say 100%, but I am going to say 98% of the companies can use Power BI. I've talked to dental professionals, medical professionals. I've talked to um, uh, 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 the guys that run different hospitals. I've talked to CEOs of retail, both Fortune 500 and small business, and everyone is having not necessarily the same challenge, but everyone can see the same benefits when it comes to Power BI. It may not be the exact same benefits, but if we understand that data, if we understand that every organization today has data, data is the new gold mine. I'm not even gonna call it a gold mine. Data is the new diamond mine, right? If you have data, the more data you have on your organization, the better forecasts you can make, the better predictions you can make, the better projections you can make, and then we'd be able to take Power BI and then integrate the AI and integrate AI, artificial intelligence into Power BI to even generate a greater sense of revenue or a greater sense of information from the knowledge that's created from the data that you have. I'm not going to get too deep into that. I'm not going to get too deep into that because I just said AI and BI. Let me back up. BI is business intelligence and AI is artificial intelligence. When you integrate both of those guys together, you got a beast. You got a beast. I'm not going to get too deep into the AI BI integration because right now you guys just want to understand Power BI, and I get it. Do I teach AI with my organization? We've got here from Lynn on LinkedIn. Lynn on LinkedIn asks, do I teach uh, the integration of AI with BI in Power of the BI? The answer is yes and no. The answer is yes and no. Kind of, sort of, not really. Here's the deal. This course that I teach, my initial course, which is Power of the BI, is not totally integrated. I do introduce concepts of I introduce concepts of artificial intelligence, but I don't introduce the integration of artificial intelligence. The reason why is because this course is so new. This topic is so new to over 90% of the individuals. Yeah, over 90% of the individuals that sign up, that trying to introduce AI and BI could become overwhelming. It could become overwhelming. So I don't necessarily teach the AI and BI in this course. I do have another course which is next level. I'm not going to get into that, but at that point, I do more of the integration of AI and BI when it comes to that. I also have an app. I have a web app that is an AI agent. If you've heard of an agent, you know where I'm going. If you haven't heard of an agent, Google it. AI agent. Google it. I have a web app which is an AI agent that allows you to be able, well, allows a Power BI developer to be able to perform their work probably at about 10 times faster than they would have if they didn't have the agent. Um, I introduced that agent, but I do not integrate that into this course. Um, my mentees have access, all of my mentees have access to the agent, but that's a whole nother deal. So, to answer your question, I hope I answered the question, but to answer your question was yes and no. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Where do we start when it comes to creating a Power BI report? The first thing we have to do when it comes to a Power BI report is one is analyzing the data. And I say one, it's really kind of one and one A. One is analyzing the data, and one A is data transformation, data preparation, and data transformation. The reason why I say it's one and one A is because in the Power BI report, you will be able to, and we'll see that here in just a little bit. In the Power BI report, you are able to analyze the data in the data view, and then you're able to make data transformations within the within Power Query. Reason why I say one and one A is because you could do one first before the other one. For instance, data preparation and data transformation. When you bring the data into Power BI, you could go straight into data transformation. Me personally, I don't really like to go straight into data transformation unless I already know the data, right? If I already know the data, I'll go straight in and where I need to do preparation, I need to clean it. Now, for those of you guys that are not totally sure, not totally understanding what cleaning data is, what data preparation is, data transformation, Power Query, and those terms like that, don't sweat it. Those are things that you're going to learn. Those are things that you can learn. Just understand that data, when data comes in, sometimes it's just not good data, right? And you've heard the term probably forever: garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out, garbage in, garbage out. If you get bad data, you're going to put out a bad report. So bottom line is when you go in and you see you have bad data, one thing you can do is you can request new data, and two, you can clean the data. If you have the ability to, you can clean the data, and that's what we use Power Query for within data transformations. We can clean the data. In some cases, we may not be able to clean the data. We have to request for new data. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying here is one of the first things you're going to do is data preparation and transformation. At the end of the day, what does that mean? If if you see that a column is spelled wrong, you just rename the column. If you see that the column is showing that it has the wrong data type, for instance, it could be a date column but have a text data type, or a text column and have a date data type. You just go back, you go in and you make those corrections. Again, today, if you're not already familiar with Power BI, if you're not already familiar with data preparation, data transformation, data transformations, and data cleaning, this makes no sense to you. Just understand that just because you don't understand what I am saying right now, it's not hard. Again, when I say clean data, transform data, clean data, transform data, prepare the data, that only means that you're going to make the data right. And if the data is not right, you're going to ask somebody to give you the right data, right? So, for those of you guys out there that understands what I'm saying when I say preparation, transformation, and clean data, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat if you understand what I'm saying when it comes to when I say prepare the data, transform the data, or clean the data. Put a one in the chat. Instagram, put one in the comment. Put one in the comment. This give me some idea of who I am speaking with. To be honest, I'm not looking. I'm not looking to work with data professionals, right? I'm looking to work with individuals that have no clue what data is, but want to pivot their career. You have no clue what data is, but you want to, or Power BI is, but you want to pivot your career, and someone is telling you that you can make six figures. You can make six figures in a new career that you don't know anything about within the next 3 to 4 months, and you're like, sign me up, right? Anyway, let's keep moving. I don't want to beat that dead horse too much longer. Let's see here. Step 2, design with purpose, good and clear, impactful visuals. So Power BI is a data visualization tool. So what a Power BI developer does is create Power BI reports, which turns into, or could turn into dashboards. But at the end of the day, you are creating a report. Now, the report is simply, and you're going to see as we build out our Power BI report here shortly, you're going to see that building out a Power BI report is only building out one visual at a time. You're going to build your report is going to have one visual. You're going to build out one visual at a time. If you can build one visual, you can probably build several visuals. Now, several of the visuals have different components to where elements have to be used in. But at the end of the day, if you just know that you can build out one report at a time. As a matter of fact, when I first started building Power BI reports, I only used two visuals. When I first started building Power BI reports, I only used two visuals. I used a column chart and a bar chart. That was it. Column chart and the bar chart. Then I went to, once I got good with the column chart and the bar chart, then I started using the line. When I used the card chart, the column chart, the bar chart, and the line. Card chart, column chart, bar chart, line. Column chart, bar chart, line. Then once I got good with that, then I went to the combo chart of the bar chart, the column chart, and the line together. So I had the column chart, the bar chart, the line graph, and the combo column and line. What I'm saying is, in Power BI, you can become good at one thing. Like just as in tech, I chose to become good in tech. Then I said, hey, I'm going to become good in Power BI. Then I said, hey, I'm going to choose one visualization at a time. If you don't know what I mean by visualization, just understand. If you've taken fifth grade math, you know that in fifth grade math you have columns, column charts, bar charts, line graphs, histograms. All of that stuff is what we use in Power BI, right? I can teach a fifth grader how to use Power BI. Definitely in the segment when it comes to the charting and graphs. So if you've had fifth grade math, Power BI, you can learn Power BI. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not going to become a problem. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's easy. It's easy for me because I've been doing it, right? And I'm pretty good at it. But it may not be easy for you, but my job is to teach you so that it can become easy for you. Okay. But at the end of the day, Power BI is built on it's simply data visualization, creating data visualizations. When we create these data visualizations, as we can see here, we're telling a story with dashboards and engaging individuals based on the stories that we're telling. I'm going to say that just a different way. You are telling a story when you create visualizations. When you create multiple visualizations, you're expanding upon the story. If you got multiple visualizations, you're really telling a story. The more visualizations you have, you're probably telling more of a complete story. Doesn't mean you're going to have 15, 16 visuals on a page, but or in a report. But at the end of the day, just understand that you're giving that you're giving um, a report in regards you're giving a report in you're telling a story in regards to Power BI. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Power BI features to amplify impact, AI insights, real-time data, and mobile access. I'm going to start at the bottom. When you create a Power BI report, you can create a Power BI report for a mobile device. I'm not going to go too much deeper into that because that is pretty self-explanatory. Real-time data. When it comes to Power BI, there's two ways that you can bring data in. You can import data, or you can um, oh Lord, it's gonna slip my mind. You can import data, or you can bring the data in real time. You can import it, you can bring it in real time. Um, when you bring it in real time, you can slow the report down. I'm not going to go too much deeper than that. You will get introduced to that component in the course, but I am not going to spend too much time on that in the course because, long story short, we can talk about that in the next. We're not, long story short, you can bring in real-time data or you can import data, which is not real time, and you can refresh the data as often as you like to refresh it. The AI insights, of course, we just said the visualizations, the insights are provided with the visualizations. So the insights is pretty much the story that you're telling within each one of the data visualizations. Dun, 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 dun. If you're getting anything out of this, if you're getting anything out of this, type one in the chat. Type one in the chat if you're getting anything out of this. If this is something, if you've learned anything new about Power BI that you didn't already know, type one in the chat. Those out there on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram, if you uh, are getting something out of this, type one in the chat. This is really going to help me be able to expand more on what you already know, what you don't know, based on what you are responding to. There will be a chance for you guys that are here on the Zoom to ask questions as we move on and get closer to the Power BI part of the hands-on part of the presentation. Again, for those that are out there and you are trying to see the presentation, but you are not, you may have logged on late or you did not request to have the Zoom link sent to you. You can, if you're on Instagram, you can go to the last video that I posted, and in that video, you can come and learn under that video, and it will take you to the Zoom link to where you will be able to log in and see the actual presentation. For those of you that are out there on YouTube and in LinkedIn, it is in the comments. It's in the comments. For those that are out there on YouTube and LinkedIn, it's in the comments. So you'll be able to go to the Zoom link and you will be able to follow along in the presentation as we go through the initial presentation and as we go through the hands-on presentation for Power BI. So here, as we see here, best practices, clean, modern, and inclusive design. This is why I enjoy Power BI. This is why I enjoy Power BI. And the reason for that is I take pride in creating Power BI reports that are very similar and reflective to the website of the organization that I'm creating the Power BI report for. I believe in putting the logo on each one of the Power BI reports. I believe in using the primary color or colors of the organization, and I believe in using complementary colors, either provided by the organization or what I have found to be complements to the primary color or colors that are used. Creating a super professional presentation is the initial piece of what it takes in order to provide a great Power BI report. It's definitely not the only piece. The data is what makes the report the report. But as long as the Power BI report, as long as you have good data, when you stack on top of that, that perfect present, I don't say perfect, but that very nice presentation. I don't like saying perfect, but that very nice presentation, that's what puts you beyond the other limit. I've seen Power BI reports where individuals who do understand, who do know how to create a Power BI report, they're very basic, right? They got a line chart, they got a bar graph, they got a column chart, right? And the colors that they use are just basic yellow, orange, red. It's the standard colors that may come with the Power BI theme. It's the standard theme, and there's no logo and there's no colors and stuff like that. Some people say, well, Tearod, that could be overkill. And maybe it is. Maybe it is overkill, but I don't care. I believe in creating something that I like to look at. When I create a Power BI report and when I get done, I like to go back and look at it. I like to scroll through it and click it and like look at it and say, yeah, I created that. That was me. I did that. Right. And that's the kind of pride that I instill into my mentees, that you gotta take pride in what you do, right? Because this is something that's going to live within an organization, and there are going to be eyes on this project that you probably can't even imagine. Let's see here. Success story spotlight. Oh, okay, so this is one of this is a real person. This is not her real name. This is a real person. This is not her real name. Um, and I try not to use real names in certain situations because of, I know, the testimonials. Even with my testimonials, I try to have those that have testimonials for me not to use their real names, for various reasons. I'm sure you can understand. But we're going to call her Mercy Dennis. Um, And this is a sales dashboard that Mercy created. This is a sales dashboard that Mercy created. Again, if you just logged in, you can go over to you can in Instagram. You can log on. You can go to the last video that I published. Click learn, and then it should give you the Zoom link. Those on LinkedIn LinkedIn and YouTube. Go into the comment sections. You've got to scroll down some now, given that there's a lot of ones and twos in the comments. But the Zoom link to the presentation is in there, and you're welcome to join in. This is not a secret at all. But so Mercy created this sales dashboard, and she has replicated this thing several times for her clients. The thing about Mercy is a small business owner, and she took my course, Power of the BI, so that she could implement Power BI into her organization. She had less than 6 people within her organization at the time. I think she's grown a little bit. I think her company has grown a little bit since she took my course. But she's also sent several of her several of the individuals within her organization that work for her. She sent them over and put them in the course as well, because she understands and understood at the time the value of having individuals within the organization that understands Power BI just as well or even better than she does. So she has implemented Power BI within her organization. Your BI journey starts now. Your BI journey starts now. So here's the deal. Uh, you can master data storytelling, you can join the community, and you can take action today if you signed up for Power of the BI. If you remember, I told you at the beginning of this webinar that I would let you know when it would be time for for me to let you know that you can join in on Power BI. And trust me, now is not that time. Now is not that time because we have not gone into the hands-on portion of Power of the BI yet. So what I am going to do is I am going to bring down this webinar presentation and I am going to open up the Power BI presentation. And let's see if I can share it to this screen. Looks like I can. Okay, so as you see here, this is a Power BI report. Let me back up real quick. Uh, Again, if you have just logged in from Instagram, if you go to the video that the last video that I posted, there is in the comment section it says come and learn. If you come and learn on that video, you will be given the link to join the Zoom session. If you come and learn to that link, you will be given the ability to go to the Zoom session. For those on LinkedIn and YouTube, at the bottom of the comments, you got to scroll down. There are ones and twos there. You got to scroll down. And the Zoom link is there. The Zoom link is there at the bottom of the uh, YouTube and um, YouTube and LinkedIn. But let's keep moving. So, as you see here, this is a Power BI report that I created for Ford Motor Company. This is not an actual report for Ford. This is a simulated report that I created. My team created. This is simulated data, as I should say. This is simulated data that was created using an automobile company or automobile like company. Let's see here. For some reason, uh, hold on just 1 second. You're not able to see the top of the screen, Jason, and I think I see why. Uh, oh, no. Hold on, Jason. I'm sorry. There we go. Can you see the top of the screen now? All right, that's cool. Yeah, that's just because I had a Power BI report up before, and I was on a Power BI report. I was working a Power BI report, and now it was asking for view recovered files. So that's just simply meaning that I don't know, maybe I don't know why they would come up because I think if I click save as, or save that file, it shouldn't have come up, but it looks like the last report that I was on, given that I opened up a new report, it was asking if I wanted to if I wanted to view that recovered file. So I do apologize for that. Yeah, I no, I get it. That is what it is. That's what's up. So back to the report that we're looking at is a Ford Motor Company file. Ford Motor Company file. If you're in the automobile industry and you're interested in Power BI, type one in the chat. Type one in the chat if you are in the automobile industry and you know what Power BI can do for your company. And trust me, here's the deal. As I said before, it doesn't matter if you are an assistant, an executive assistant, a receptionist, an accountant, a person in finance, uh, marketing management. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. This stuff works for everybody. Engineering, this stuff works, right? This is where companies are going. right? It's just like saying, hey, I don't like this artificial intelligence stuff, so I'm just gonna not use that. No, man, you can't get around it. You can't get around it. When it comes to business intelligence, you're not gonna be able to get around this either, right? I'm not gonna beat that dead horse. If I do, I'll probably break the stick. Anyway, so we're looking at it. This is the final report for a project that I created. Again, it's simulated data that I use. It's not a project that I used before. I'm not even sure if I did any work or consulting for a motor company. Uh, but this is not a real project. The data is simulated. The only thing that's real on here is a logo, and that's not. I just grabbed the logo from the internet. So I don't want you to think that this is data from Ford, right? But Um, this is the final report. What I want you to see here is that this report, every piece that you can see on here that's uh, like a visual, all of these are individual pieces, and you build these reports, as I said before, one visual at a time, one visual at a time. Okay, so I'm going to count the number of visuals. I've got the logo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Uh, it's telling me to wave. I'm just waving. It was like K and Joe Wakinto, I think. Apologize if I said your name wrong. My name's Tearod. People say my name wrong all the time. But welcome in on the face on the Instagram. I think I saw you earlier. K01, I saw you earlier. Um, Frank, think I saw you earlier as well. But welcome to Power of the BI. London on LinkedIn, welcome. Marquise on LinkedIn, welcome. It's like YouTube is pretty strong. I scroll through all of those, but I see. I know Jason. I called your name earlier. That's what's up. But welcome, Jason, out on YouTube. Um, but we're here. We're looking at Ford. We're looking at Ford Motor Company Power BI. What did we say? I think it's 11 visuals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 11 visuals here on the Ford report. The reason why I wanted to show you this first is because this is the end product. This is the end product of the Power BI report. But I wanted to show you that this thing is built out one visual at a time. One visual at a time. So what I did was I took this report and then I went back and said, hey, if I started from the very beginning of building out the visualizations, what would this look like? And let's see here. Oh, I don't know why I did that, but okay. So here, what I'm calling page one is just a bar chart. It's just a bar chart. And basically, we've got the data that we use to create the bar chart. And we come here to the visualizations. We can see, let's open the visualizations pane and the data pane. We can see what table was used, and we can see what columns were used to create this bar chart. Simple. It's just one visual at a time. We just built this thing one visual at a time. Okay. Um, then if we come over and I say we go to page two, now we're simply looking at the donut chart. And with the donut chart, we also can see what tables were used, what tables was used, what columns was used. But in this particular case, we also used something in the donut visual called we use measures within the donut visual. Oh, gotta click it first. You gotta highlight it in order to see what was there. So we use the table, we use the column, and we use the measure. Now, I did not explain what a measure was. A measure is, for those that are not, if you're familiar with a measure, type one in the chat. If you're familiar with a measure, type one in the chat. If you're not familiar with a measure, type two in the chat. If you're not familiar with a measure, type two in the chat. So basically, what a measure is a is a computer programming calculation. For those of you guys that are familiar with Python, familiar with C++, uh, I would say Fortran, but I kind of date myself. But at the end of the day, it's computer programming. But the thing about measures, DAX measures in Power BI is one of the most simple uh, calculations you can use when it comes to programming. When it comes to calculations for computer programs, it's one of the easiest things you can do. Now, I say that it's easy because it's something that I know how to do. So I'm not saying that it's, well, let me back up. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm saying it's one of the easier programs to learn, or languages to learn. And I teach you DAX, right? Now, do I teach you all DAX? No, but I teach you the concepts of DAX to where you'll be able to create whatever DAX expressions you need to create. Now, what is DAX? DAX is DAX. It stands for Data Analytics Expression, right? And that's what we use when we want to be able to create custom calculations inside of Power BI. You can't have a job. You can have a job for 20 years probably in Power BI and never have to code, right? Never have to code. I've got friends that are in Power BI now, and they've never coded, right? And sometimes they'll run up on something, they'll say, T, do I need a code? They're like, no, you don't really need a code for that. You could use a code for it, but you don't need a code for it. And you know what they do? They just don't write a code for it. But the DAX allows you to be able to create custom codes in your visualizations will have a slightly different look. Actually, a better, to be honest. But I'm going to leave that alone. That's a whole nother conversation. But at the end of the day, the donut chart, we have the donut chart here. We can tell what table we use, what column we use, and we can tell what DAX we use for this particular visual. Then we come over and we have what's called a tree map. Same concept with the tree map. We can see what measure we use, we can see what table we use, and we can see what column we use. Now, as you can see, I'm using a common theme. I'm using measures, tables, columns, measures, tables, columns, measures, tables, columns. Where I'm going with that is, as I said before, creating a Power BI report is built creating one visual at a time. It's built creating one visual at a time. And with that, if you create one visual at a time, the majority of the visuals are going to have very similar components and elements to where you're going to be using for each visual. Some of the visuals have maybe one or two more elements that you can add. Some of the visuals may have only one element. But at the end of the day, measures, tables, columns, measures, tables, columns. I showed you the final report. The final report had 11 visualizations on it. But at the end of the day, each one of those visualizations are built, again, I like to say about 90% the same way. You bring the visuals in, you create the measure, you bring the measure in, you bring the table in, you bring the column in. I can't make it any simpler. That's why I'm going through this like this right now. One visual at a time. One visual at a time. Here we have a column chart. As I said before, when I first got started, I would build a whole report off of nothing but column charts. I would build a whole report off of nothing but column charts. Then I went to bar charts. Then I went to line graphs. Then I went to the combo line and column. I'm telling you, the reason why I'm so consistent with the story is I'm telling you the truth, right? Just become good at one and understand the components, the elements of one, and that'll help you understand the components and elements of another, which will help you to be able to become diverse in the visualizations that you create. Here, we are just looking at a card, and basically a card is just a number or some text on one particular visualization. It's just that simple. Every visualization every visualization has components and elements to it. A card typically only has one component, one element that you're going to be adding to the component, and that's going to it's going to display whatever you're trying to put out. And then here we're going to have another card, same scenario. We're going to come over. We're going to create another card. Actually, I don't know why I left the column chart on there, but that should just be a card. But at the end of the day, a card is only going to have one element of on a component, which is going to be on one object, which is going to be the card itself. Again, I was intending to just have one visual here, but we got the logo here, and we have the calendar, the sliding day calendar. This sliding day calendar the visualization could work several different ways. I'm not going to go into all of the different ways it could work. Just understand that this is a visualization itself, and it's used using the date fields of the table. And we come here, we have a map visual. Now, a map visual, I'm not going to lie, a map visual is a little bit more complex. In this particular, well, let me back up. You can you can have a map visual that's not that complex, but as you can see here, we've got several different shadings of blue on this particular visual, which there is a DAX measure that was created in order to help make these different changes, these different colors in this map. In addition to, we use the what? The table and column, measures, columns, measures, tables, columns, measures, tables, columns. So the reason why I went through all of these different visuals, but let me back up. So, and we also used a logo. We also used the Ford logo, which is simply just an image. You know, just like you would bring an image into a Word document, a PowerPoint presentation, an Excel spreadsheet. It's just an image. Insert image. Just that simple, right? But what I was about to say was the reason why I went through each one of the different visuals that I have on this particular report is because I wanted you to see that to it's just that simple to have uh, to create Power BI reports. And as we go back over to the initial page, the final report, now we've got all the visualizations here on this final report, but I just showed you the creating the visualizations is just that simple. It's just that simple, right? Uh, I am going to move over to the data view. And the data view is basically just where all your data is going to be in a Power BI report. It's going to have all the tables that are used. As you can see here, these are all the tables that are used in a Power BI report. Um, and we can expand the tables, and we will see here that these are all the columns that are in this particular table. And if we expand this report here, we can see this table, we can see these are the columns in this particular report. It's just that simple. I mean, you know, I can go over all of it, but you know, I can go over all the tables, but you know, this report is really not that complicated. This is the main um, this is one of the main report, one of the main tables here. in the forward sales transaction table. And these are all of the columns that are in this report. And if I expand, we will also see that these columns are here as well. If I highlight one of the columns, it highlights over here. Boom, boom, boom. So we can see we've got all of the different highlights. Now, if I come down to the next view, which is the model view, which is what makes this thing tick, which is these are all of the tables that we saw in the data view. These are all of the tables that we saw in the data view, but now they have the relationships. And we see that each one of these tables are related to different tables by way of different columns. So when you see me highlight the relationship, these lines that I'm highlighting is showing how the tables are connected. The connection is called a relationship. And when you see the highlighted the highlighted column within the tables, you'll see that they both have the same names, and that's showing the relationship. In Power BI, we like to see relationships in Power BI as either one-to-many, many-to-one, or one-to-one relationships. Again, either one-to-many, many-to-one, or one-to-one relationships. Not going to go too deep into that because data modeling is something that could confuse you just a little bit. But again, I do teach data modeling. I do teach data modeling within within our course in Power of the BI. I do teach data modeling. So we are into we're moving into the session here where I'm going to ask, does anyone have any if anyone have any questions in regards to what we have gone over, put your questions in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. I will either get to you, but I've got somebody here on the back side answering that I am not able to get to. How long does it take? Overall, how long does it really take to learn Power BI? It really depends. It depends on how you put in. Let's see, you cannot see the screen. Okay, 1 second. There you go. How much time does it take in order to learn Power BI? It takes as long as it takes. It takes what you put in is what you get out. The course that I teach at powerofthebi.com is a 16-week course. I do know that you can complete that course in right under 8 weeks. When I say under 8 weeks, that does not mean 6 weeks. It means like 7 weeks and a few days. If you put the time in to complete the course, you can complete that course in 7 weeks and in 7 weeks and a few days. So, it takes as long as it takes. Now, that's completing the course. Becoming good at doing the work. I mean, you're not going to become good at doing it just by completing the course. You're gonna get an understanding of what to do, how to do it. But to be good at what you do is going to take repetition and practice, and you got to do it over and over and over again. Within Power of the BI, I do give you several projects throughout Power of the BI so that you will be able to complete the course. I mean, not complete the course, but complete, full projects. Completing those full projects, you will get an understanding of what it really takes. You'll understanding of what a final project should look like. And this forward project is similar to what a final project should look like. If your project does not look like one of these or one of the projects that I give you, you need to keep working. Did I answer your question? All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Uh, am I available for one-on-ones? So the answer to that again is yes and no. I am available for one-on-ones. To be honest, the answer is no, right? As far as one-on-one. Now we do have a Telegram group. We do have We do have a Telegram group for the mentees. We do meet once a week um, on our mentee calls. And for those that may have issues on the job, you get on the job and you say, "Hey, I'm stuck. I don't know where to go." They ask me a question. I don't know how to get this answer. I need to create this DAX calculation. I don't know how to get to the answer. The Telegram group, you put your question in the Telegram group, and within 10, 15 minutes, you got an answer. Now you may not get the direct answer of just do this, do this, do this, but you'll get the direction of where you need to go in order to be able to get to complete that assignment, how you get that assignment complete. When I say complete the assignment, for instance, you may run up on a project, run up on something to where you need a calculation. Someone may send you the calculation or somebody may send you the video so that you can see where to go in order to complete that to get your answer, right? This is not a handheld deal. You're making six figures, baby. You're making six figures. So if you complete this course, that's telling us that you are able to think, right? Now, everybody is able to think. So don't expect for your expectation to be able to think and for us to be able to hold your hand. No, but we are going to go as far as you're willing to go with yourself. So with that said, if you got a challenge, you got an issue, you drop that into the Telegram. We send you the directions. And everybody keep moving, right? This is a family. But at the end of the day, there is no hand holding. We're not gonna walk you, we're not gonna give you the candy bar and open up your candy and give you your pancakes and cut them into perfect squares. No. But if you want to make that money and you want to get on the grind, you've got to go out there and you got to do to become as good as you need to become in order to maintain that six-figure job. Any more questions? Yeah, I know that was funny, right? I didn't mean to be sarcastic. Um, but we expect professionalism and almost perfection. We don't expect perfection, but almost perfection. So if I was a little sarcastic, my apologies if anybody took that person. But at the end of the day, you're gonna be good at what you do. We're kind of a little bit behind time, so let me move through the Q&A. For those of you guys that have questions in regards to that I didn't get to, put your questions in the chat. Um, either myself or one of my team members will respond and get you whatever answers you're looking for. I do apologize. I beat the dead horse. It's a little bit too long on a couple of places, which has us a little bit behind, but that's okay. We're not too far behind. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. So here's the deal. For those of you guys that I was telling, I wanted to make sure you were clear. This is a piece where I tell you more about power of the BI. If you want to be part of the power of the BI, you can. You don't have to be. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not even good at sales, and I'm only doing it so I don't get fined. Not really, but for those that are interested in power of the BI, I do want to. Damon, yes. To answer the question, yes. Damon just asked, do we really get more intense in the class? And the answer to that is yes. The class is a 16-week class. There are 32 modules. 16-week class, 32 modules. You can finish within a little less than 8 weeks, not 6 weeks, but about 7 weeks and a few days. If you really put your head down, put your head in the grind. When I say put your head in the grind, I'm talking about probably doing about 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day can get you done in about 16 weeks. In about 7 weeks and a few days. If you do 2 hours a day, if you do not 2 hours a day, if you do about 2 hours a week, it's not 4 hours a day, 4 hours a week. If you do 4 hours a week, you can complete the class in about in about 7 weeks and a few days. And if you do 2 hours a day, you can complete the class in about 16 weeks. So that's the kind of time frame that's expected for those that have questions there. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce Power of the BI, which is the course that I teach is Power of the BI. We only have a few more minutes here. but I teach a course called Power of the BI, where I teach my students Power BI, where I provide mentorship to some. It's not mandatory. That's a whole nother piece. I teach you how to get certified in Power BI, but not in Power of the BI. That's a whole other piece. The main piece that I teach right here is Power of the BI, which is teaching you Power BI, which puts you in position. If you put your head in the grind, put your head down, go fast, and don't think about it, just do it. It puts you in position to make six figures. On average, when I say six figures on average, starting our students start out at about $105,000 a year. 115 is a good number, but I think you kind of hitting the borderline when you hit that 115 number, because when you hit that 115 number, 115 to 120, the expectations are definitely going to be different for you. Above that 120 mark, the expectations are going to be definitely different for you. But if you got your head in the grind, you can get one of those 115, 120, 130 jobs. I'm talking about 100,000. I'm not talking about $100 per hour. So 115, $105,000 an hour is about the average rate that our students land. That's what I uh, suggest, that those are the opportunities that you um, that you take on. I really don't think. No, let me back up. Some of our students have taken those 115 to 130 jobs, 115,000, 130,000 jobs, and they've been totally fine. Questions within the Telegram group may go off, but most of those guys within 115 to $130,000, they typically join the Telegram. They typically join the mentorship so that they have all of the things, all the tools that they need to be successful without getting caught up in a situation where they feel like they're over their heads. I'm not going to beat that dead horse too much longer, but the power of the BI. What you'll learn in Power of the BI, you'll learn how to connect real world data. You're going to learn how to master DAX expressions. You're going to build executive dashboards. You're going to implement row level security, and you're going to learn to publish and share reports. Now, these are things that you're going to learn to do. You're only going to become as good as as you put in. Again, garbage in, garbage out. If you just sign up for the course, but you decide that you do not want to really, put your head down and really put the work in and really learn this thing, you're not going to master DAX. You're not gonna learn how to connect, how to build real world dashboards and stuff like that. But if you put your head down, get in the grind, you're going to learn this information. You're going to learn how to create a Power BI report. You're going to feel comfortable in the job that you receive, and you're going to be a beast. And now, the one thing that I didn't say is when I say build real world dashboards or build real executive dashboards. When you get done, you're going to have a portfolio. You're going to be able to interview and say, "Hey, let me share my screen with you and show you my work." Right? Every time, not one time, every time I have interviewed for a job, and I said, "Hey, let me share my screen." 100% for 100%, I get the job at the salary that I'm asking. Let me say it a different way. When I share my screen, I get the job and the money that I want. Now, sometimes I share my screen. Sometimes I don't share my screen, or sometimes I haven't shared my screen and I got the job, right? Sometimes I haven't shared my screen and I didn't get the job. But every time, 100 for 100, when I show you my work, I get the job, right? Now you say, "Well, Troy, what do you mean you get the job? I mean, you're working right now." So here's the deal. Um, when you get into this game, you give yourself a raise. For instance, let me say it this way: say you get a job, your first job is at $105,000 a year. I'm gonna recommend that you stay on that job for 6 months. In 6 months, you're gonna be good enough, or you should be good enough, to where your skills have developed as such to where now you're able to go out there and land another job. And you'll probably be saying, "Hey, I want 115, 120." Okay. I would say stay on that job for at least 6 months. 6 months later, you may say, hey, I want 130, 140. You're giving yourself a raise. You're not, nobody is telling you that you've got to wait to the end of the year for the review to get a 3.5% cost of living raise. That's not how we work, right? Now, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's totally on you. Uh, but at the end of the day, you know, you we're in a situation here. Power BI is something that everybody can't do, right? Everybody's not able to do this. Okay. Now, I've had some great jobs to where, I didn't take the 6 month option to say I want to find another job. I could have made more money, but I said I like the company. So I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do this, right? Because I like the people that I was working with, right? But that, again, that's on you. The other thing is you got situations. You can work remote. You can work hybrid. You can work on site. So if you like being around people and you want to be in the building, the on site option is there. If you want to, work sometime at home and sometimes you want to work uh, in the office, you can take the hybrid option, depending on the opportunity. Now, you don't necessarily get to choose that all the time. You get to choose which jobs you do take. Because some jobs are going to give you a hybrid opportunity, some jobs are going to give you an on-site opportunity, some jobs are going to give you a remote opportunity. And with that remote opportunity, you could be working in Colombia, the country. You could be working in London, the country. You could be working in the south of France, right? Don't matter. It's totally on you. I'm not going to be that dead horse. Okay, but those are some options that you can have. Me myself, I'm not going to go into it. We'll talk about that more if you decide to what I was about to say. But anyway, so again, for those that are interested in getting into tech, whether you're interested in getting into Power BI and Power of the BI, if you're interested in getting into QA, QC, testing, Azure DevOps, um, several other areas that is not coming to mind right now. But if you're interested in getting into tech and you've never been in tech, somebody's about to throw that money out there at you that you haven't that you didn't think you'd ever receive or you don't think you're worthy of because that's something that you really don't know anything about or you don't feel you went to school for it. I've got a book out there. It's the 6 Figure Cheat Code. How to Make Money in Tech. It's out there on Amazon. You can screenshot this QR code right now. Screenshot the QR code, and it'll take you right to the link. Pick up the book. Listen. Even if you decide not to take my course, Power of the BI, and you decide to take another course in tech, or if you decide to, yeah, if you decide to take another course in tech, and you get another job in tech, the one thing I don't want you to have is imposter syndrome. Okay, the one thing I don't want you not to understand is what are the things you need to do in order to be successful uh, in tech. And what I'm telling you is, it's in the 6 Figure Cheat Code. It's in the 6 Figure Cheat Code. So, you know, one, you can help your boy out and just go out there and buy the book. Two, you can buy the book for yourself and help yourself out of how to make money in tech and how to be successful in this world called tech. Why is this course different? It's got real world impact, expert instructions. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I know that there are a lot of guys out there that are saying, "Hey, I teach Power BI. You can do this or Power BI." Listen, man, I got the receipts. Um, as I said before, 7 times certified Microsoft certified, 7 times Microsoft certified. Right? As I said before, yeah, certification doesn't mean that I'm an expert at Power BI. It means that I was a good test taker. It means that it could mean that I was a good test taker. It could mean that somebody gave me the answers, or it could mean that I was an extremely good guesser and I got certification. But I did it 7 times. Come on, man. Come on. You, I dropped the mic on that. Uh, Culturally relatable. Listen, Power BI developers come in all different shades, colors, creeds, nationalities, races, sexes. Um, we represent we represent the gambit of the globe, right? And the one thing I can tell you is it doesn't matter what your race, sex, creed, nationality is when it comes to Power BI. What matters is, are you good at what you do? That's what matters. Are you good at what you do? And we provide job ready training. So within Power of the BI, we do have part of the 16 weeks is getting you prepared to to interview and to go out and to land those roles. I mean, gonna teach you how to get the job. Gonna teach you the skill, teach you how to get the job, and teach you how to interview for the job. I mean, come on, man. It don't get no better than that. So I do have limited spots for for the next cohort. I do have limited spots. So there are only going to be 30 spots in the cohort. And I have enrollment. I have 3 times a year. I'm not necessarily limited to 3 times a year, but I am limited to 30 seats per cohort because I want everyone in the cohort to be able to reach out and touch each other and for it not to look so big to where it looks like a money grab from my end, and it looks like it's so overwhelming with the number of people that are in the course. So if you're interested, it's only 30 spots. I do have enrollment open 3 times a year, but I do um, I do give myself the ability to open up more courses, just not more seats per course. But currently, I only have 3 seats that are going to be in, I mean, 30 seats that are going to be in the next cohort. So if you're interested in learning Power BI, this is definitely when to do it. Now, uh, here, as you see, the barcode, if you want to join, you're logged on here with your LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube. Just follow the barcode here to join the course. So what you will know is the course itself. I don't think I put it on here. I thought I did. So as far as cost, I think I had it on one slide. I may have skipped the slide. I'm not sure. But as far as cost is concerned, the cost of the course is $49.95. The cost of the course is $49.95. That's $4,995. One say, "Oh, you told me it's gonna be $4.95." No, the course is $4,995. However, for everyone that is chimed in right now, um, your cost for the next 48 hours is $24.95. Reason being, I really want to fill this cohort up. We've got 30 seats for the cohort. I want to fill this cohort up with individuals that are chimed into this webinar right now. That fee, that fee is not going to be that fee after this time on Tuesday. This time on Tuesday afternoon, the fee goes back to the regular rate of $49.95. But for those of you guys that are on here now, which looks like between Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and Google, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. No, Facebook is here too. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Looks like we have right at 103 people that are watching this webinar right now. So with that, all of you guys have the opportunity, the first 30 to sign up. Um, you'll be signing up for the court, signing up for the 24.95. After then, we go back to the 49.95. So uh, I do not want to hold you much longer. I want to just thank you for joining in to this webinar. I know we spent some time here. For those of you guys that were able to get in on the Zoom and to follow through the Zoom link, I definitely want you to, I definitely want to say thank you for spending this time with me. For those of you guys that were not able to get in on the Zoom link, I did get information that some of you guys were not able to get locked in, get logged in. That's okay. Uh, we are going to be holding this webinar again. We're going to be holding this webinar again. And like I said, I know that it said it's going to only be 3 openings. If we have enough for another opening in between now and the next opening, after this opening is filled with the 30 the 30 students for this session, if we have enough to say, hey, we get the response to say, hey, let's open up another webinar, let's open up another cohort, we will do so. But we just won't do it with more than 30 individuals per cohort, because it does get confusing. This is not something I want everyone to get out there and get overwhelmed and have so many individuals in a cohort. Because the one thing about a cohort, you can have enough individuals in the cohort where everyone is participating and collaborating with one another, and then you can have so many individuals in the cohort where it's so big that people just don't collaborate and communicate because it just becomes overwhelming, become overstimulated. So what we are going to do is we are going to once we get this cohort filled, we're going to get it kicked off, get it rolling with those 30. And then if there is enough interest for an additional cohort, we will get that filled. We will move along with that as well. But again, with that said, if you want to get registered, you can click this link where you can follow this QR code. You can sign up. This QR code is going to take you to where it will only be $24.95 for the 16-week course uh, until this time on Tuesday afternoon. And then on Tuesday afternoon, it's going to go back to the regular price. The one thing I don't want you to do is think that if we move this, well, not move, well, if we launch this webinar again, whether it be next Sunday or the following Sunday, today's price is not going to be tomorrow's price. Well, next Sunday's price or the following Sunday's price. So if you think the $24.95 is good for you, and if you feel like you want to learn Power BI and you want to get in, you want that opportunity for that 6-figure opportunity that you may not be at right now, or you just want to get into tech, even though you're already at the amount of money you want to make, but you want to get into tech, and Power BI is the tech that is the right tech for you. Uh, I highly encourage you to tap in and to sign up for Power of the BI. But again, if you have not, if you decided this is not Power of the BI, it's not the course that you're looking for, it's not the tech program that you're looking for, hey, go out to Amazon, pick up the book, pick up my book, Power of, no, not Power of, pick up my book, The 6-Figure Cheat Code, How to Make Money in Tech. You can buy it on the online version, the ebook version, or you can buy the soft the paperback off of Amazon. Again, that's The 6-Figure Cheat Code, How to Make Money in Tech. Anyway, so I am going to log off. I thank you guys for chiming in with me here this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.